Hey guys, it's Caleb here. As you can see, I'm on the Brownells set because I'm at Brownells. This isn't a Brownells video though. This topic is I think it's a little bit too spicy for a typical Brownells video. So I'm gonna do it on my own personal channel, and I'm recording this on my cell phone. So if you're not a big fan of that, just deal with it. I'm just something I want to talk about. There's been a lot of videos and just discussion going around about, is SDI a scam? And as a traditionally trained gunsmith, I think I can weigh in on this a little bit and give you the opinions, if you will, from someone who's been through the SDI program after I'd been gunsmithing for many years, and from a professional, not like someone who just got out of the military or just decided to blow a bunch of money and take this program and then was disappointed with it. So with that being said, I'm not adding any visuals or anything to this video, so feel free to just listen to the audio while you go do something else if you want, just or driving or whatever. You don't have to stare at the video unless you want to see my face, which I don't blame you. I'm kidding. So with all that being said, is SDI a scam? A gunsmith's opinion, right? So in order to, give you a reason of, if you're sitting there wondering why should I give a shit what this dude thinks, right? So let me give you some background on myself just to kind of set the scene so you know where I come from, who I am, why my opinion would even be relevant to, I'm not saying my opinion matters more than other people's, but if you know my background, you'll understand where I'm coming from and you'll understand why my opinion should be at least considered in this argument. So I've been gunsmithing professionally since 2012, all right? I am what's called a traditionally trained gunsmith. When I first started gunsmithing, I didn't go to a gunsmithing school. I worked with a paid apprenticeship. I was making, I had 2 kids at the time, a wife. I had just gotten out the Army. I was making minimum wage working as a gunsmith's apprentice. And it was difficult financially, right? But it was definitely worth it. So my background real quick, I'm just going to try and give you high levels as best as I can here. So I traveled around, I'm from South Louisiana. I traveled around Louisiana working with a bunch of other gunsmiths, just learning from these older gunsmiths, anyone who would teach me, right? And I read a bunch of old gunsmithing books. I got a lot of hands-on training. I worked in a gunsmith shop full-time, every day. That's all I did. And learned from what I would consider to be the best. So it was a great opportunity, a great experience. And it took some time, but yes, I actually started making a gunsmith's wage, which, I mean, it honestly, the average gunsmith wage isn't that great, but if you know what you're doing, it is. So things I specialized in, I feel like I'm known now as the AR-15 guy, right? But I didn't own an AR-15 until I'd been gunsmithing for 2 years. My specialty in gunsmithing was restoring old guns and fixing obsolete firearms that you couldn't get parts for. So I spent a lot of time on a lathe and a mill making parts for guns that parts didn't exist for. And so the gunsmith shops I worked at were general purpose gunsmith shops, okay? So I did a little bit of everything. In that, I also worked for a gunsmith shop in Louisiana that was a warranty center. They did general purpose stuff for the public, but they also served as a warranty center for a lot of other companies. So I did warranty work for all the Eagle import brands, Remington, Browning, Winchester, Marlin, H&R, all those companies that are in the same umbrella as, all your Freedom Group, your Herstal Group, all that stuff. And that was a great experience as well. I was the working shop foreman at that gunsmith shop, which means I was basically a shop manager that did work, right? So I was on the bench every day, managing all these jobs that came in, helping my other gunsmiths get their jobs done, different stuff like that. So I also, when I came here to Brownells, I came here as a gun tech. I had no background in video. That's just something that I kind of fell into and has been great, just right place at the right time kind of thing, I guess. But with that being said, I also was a guest instructor at in-person gunsmith schools through Brownells, right? So Brownells sends an instructor out to different schools. I assisted with that, okay? I taught in-person classes at hands-on gunsmith schools. So I understand how those schools work. I've spent a lot of time there, okay? I'm on the program advisory committee for another gunsmith school, an in-person gunsmith school. So I work a lot with a lot of gunsmith school instructors, okay? Now, with that being said, with all that kind of laid out, you understand that you understand who I am as a gunsmith kind of now, right? That paints a little bit of a picture. I don't think I've ever really talked about this on video before. So, with all that being said now, let's talk about SDI. So, COVID happened, right? And the VA was like, oh, you need to use your GI Bill. And I was like, oh, well, I'm already a successful gunsmith, okay? So, and when I say successful gunsmith, if you look at the average gunsmith salary, right, I'm making close to the top of that, okay? That's where I rate myself as a successful. When I say successful, I mean financially. Also, I'm enjoy what I do. I'm happy and all that other stuff. That's another form of success. But in this reference, when I say successful, I'm talking financially. I'm already a successful gunsmith, okay? I am working my butt off here, all right? I don't really have time to pursue a bunch of other stuff, but I could go to an online gunsmithing school and get like a certification. And, you know, I'm using my GI Bill, so I get paid like a housing allowance. So I literally get paid to go to school. So I'm like, you know what, why not? So I signed up for SDI. I was like, cool, let's do SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. Let's do it. And this was before all the SDI scam drama. This was back in 2020. So numbers are important here. I've been gunsmithing professionally since 2012. I go to SDI in 2020 after I'm a successful gunsmith. It's important to note here, SDI isn't the reason I'm a successful gunsmith, but let's talk about SDI now. So I watched a couple of videos where people were really putting down on SDI recently, within the last like month. And I was just blown away watching these videos, because like someone with my experience going through this and then watching this, as someone with no experience just absolutely shits all over SDI, I was just like, man, people are really going to get the wrong idea of this program. Does the program need improvement? Yes, it can always be improved. There are some areas of the program that could definitely use some improvement, some updating, but it's far from a bad program. It's nowhere near a scam. I can confidently say SDI is not a scam. So let's break down some of the things in the video. And also, if you want to leave a comment and ask a question that's something I didn't cover here, I'd be more than happy to answer it for you. Like I said, I'm doing this on my free time, right? This is after hours. It's just something I just want to clear the air, you know? So the entry-level classes at SDI. Let's talk about the entry-level classes, because these are the things that kind of got crapped on a lot too. Their entry-level classes are just that, basics of firearms, right? Intro basic ballistics, advanced ballistics, reloading, like bullet swaging, all that stuff. It sets the foundation, like, so you understand fire. You can't jump into gunsmithing or be a gunsmith without understanding firearms. And as you very well know, there are a lot of people out there who think they're firearm experts, but they don't know the basics, right? Like, I've been shooting since I was 4 years old. Like, come on, dude. You got to know the basics. And yes, there is a lot to it. There's a lot to it, So you got to understand the basics to understand the advanced mechanics of firearms. That's what it comes down to. All right, so those classes kind of got crapped on a lot. And here's the deal. It's all about realistic expectations. You got to have realistic expectations. I think, like, for a lot of people using their GI Bill, you know, I was in the Army, right? We know how people getting out of the Army can be. They see the SDI ad in the Garand Thumb video, right? Not anymore. They used to, you know. And then they think that they're going to take these classes. They're going to be building like crazy rifles right out the gate. Then they get in there and then they got to do these entry-level classes and they're like, what is this shit? What did I sign up for? I was in the Army. I know everything about guns, right? Those guys. The majority of the people putting down on this school are those types of people, okay? I'm not gonna call out any channels because some of the channels that did like the SDI hate videos, I don't want to put down the channel based on those videos because those channels in general actually I've watched some of their other content. It's really good content, so I don't want to judge them by this one video, you know. So we'll leave them out of it. I'm not here to put people down. I'm here to lift people up. That's what my entire platform's always been about anyway, my like personal wise. So we're not going to do that here. And then you get into, so once you get through the basic class, there's a lot of writing, okay? It's college. If you go to an in-person gunsmith school, I've been to 5 or 6 different ones across the country, traveling, like doing different types of stuff with them, partnership type stuff, and you write a lot. It's college. You write. There's a lot of write. You got to read and write the basic stuff. You got your science classes and, you know, math and whatever, all this other crap. Believe it or not, there's math in gunsmithing, okay? When you're measuring something down to the thousandth of an inch, you need to understand math so you don't blow your face off or your customer's face off, okay? And math is important. You take science classes. Science is important. I don't internal and external, you know, terminal ballistics, all that stuff is science, okay? So those classes, you need that. And it's accredited, which means, and your GI Bill can pay for it. So there's requirements. If they left a lot of those classes out, it would not be like accredited through a thing, and your GI Bill wouldn't be able to cover it, kind of thing. So it's important. That's why a lot of those people say they're filler classes. They're college classes. They got to be in there in order for it to all work. I don't make the rules. I just work here, but I understand it. Okay, I get why they have to do it. So, whenever it comes into other stuff, there is a class where you build a muzzleloader, yeah, and you build it from a kit. It's not super hard. It's, as someone who's like built like custom Remington 700s and Mausers and stuff, that was like stupid easy to build it from that kit. People were complaining about that because the argument was that the muzzleloader is so outdated, all the techniques are irrelevant, and that could not be further from the truth, man. It's steel and it's wood. There are a lot of steel and wood guns still on the market today, okay? If you understand how to work with the steel and the wood on a muzzleloader, you can absolutely understand how to do it on other stuff. It is starting with the basics. A muzzleloader is a basic firearm. It is. I was very pleased that they actually included that because the kit required minimal machining. When I say machining, I mean you're doing hand filing and stuff to it. You gotta like cut the crown on the muzzle and different things like that. And that's great. That's great for an entry-level type program. It's an associates in gunsmithing, right? That is the perfect class for that course. And I was glad to see it. I think it was great. That one class right there sets up a lot of fundamental skills in gunsmithing. So it was perfect. If they take that out, I'd be sad based on the bad crap it was getting. So as a gunsmith, and as a gunsmith who's taught other gunsmiths, yeah, keep it in there. It's good, right? And then just the other stuff like AR-15 class, like people were crapping on that. It's like, what's the gun you're going to work on the most? AR-15, okay. Their courses could use some improvements. The discussion boards, people complain about the discussion boards. With any online program, you get out of it what you put into it. You can cheese your way through it, still make a decent grade and pass. If you want to be a gunsmith, for like in IRL, in real life, if you want to be a gunsmith, put the time and effort into it. Actually read and study the material. Don't just breeze through it and try and go get your gunsmithing job. That's the dumbest, that's not a good way to look at things, okay? And I know I'm like probably going to breeze over a bunch of stuff that a lot of other arguments they had. Like I said, feel free to ask me. I'll talk about it with you. Just put it in the comments, you know, whatever. And yeah, this video is already like close to 15 minutes. So I don't want it to be this whole like thing drug out. I just wanted to let you guys know that no, from a professional gunsmith's perspective, who's been gunsmithing for a while, traditionally trained, I'm awesome on a lathe, I'm great on a mill. SDI is not a scam. SDI does not teach you lathe and mill work, okay? It is a entry-level basic gunsmithing degree. If you want to learn how to use a lathe and a mill, go to your local trade college or whatever, take a local course on basic machining, and that will supplement, and you will be a much better gunsmith for it. Unfortunately, SDI cannot ship you a lathe and a mill because that's just not practical, right? So go take a supplemental class. If you're serious about being a gunsmith, be serious about being a gunsmith. So let's talk about if you're hireable or not when you get this degree, right? So like one of the arguments made was like, oh, PSA would hire you to put guns together if you had this degree, but they'll also hire somebody off the street to do the same exact thing. It's like, okay, then why are you using that as an argument? Are you hireable in a position that you couldn't get without the degree gunsmithing? I believe so, absolutely. So this is a entry-level gunsmithing position, or entry-level gunsmithing like degree. It's an associate's degree, right? It's not a bachelor's, it's not a master's, it's an associate's degree. So, associates in firearm technology. Yes, you are hireable in an entry-level gunsmithing position because of this. One that you could not get if you came in off the street, or one that, like, so here's let's use this as an example. If I was, like right now, if I was hiring another gunsmith to come help me do stuff in this studio, I needed him to help me build guns and set stuff up for video, different things like that. I needed a gunsmith, right? Someone who understood firearms. Or if, you know, product development side of things, right? Gunsmithing, the lathe and the mill in the back. If I was going to show somebody how to run that stuff. Somebody off the street comes in and applies for that position. Okay, no degree, maybe a little bit of background in the industry, you know, whatever. Someone with an SDI degree comes in, applies for that same position, okay, has a, you know, whatever, a little bit of experience working in the industry. Maybe that's irrelevant. Maybe they have no experience working in the industry. And those are my two candidates. I'm going to pick the one with the SDI degree every single time. Like I say every single time, assuming these people are like the same, you know, sometimes you get a really bad vibe from somebody that comes in and applies for a job, and you look at their resume and, you know, whatever. That's irrelevant. Assuming all things the same, I'm hiring the dude with the SDI degree every single time. And I'm in a management position as a gunsmith, right? So I can say that. And given my background, that should mean something, right? Based on the stuff I gave at the beginning of the video. So, long story short, yes, you are hireable when you get the degree. Yes, you are hireable in positions greater than those from people that walk off the street and do it in. So, you're not wasting if you're paying money out of pocket to go to SDI, you're not wasting money. Now, this is where, in closing, this is where things get a little interesting. So, if you go to an in-person gunsmith school, you're going to learn lathe and mill work right there. You're going to have an instructor with you to help you, like right there in person. And you can't do that in an online degree. Like, there's a level of that you just can't get. Now, I will say this, everyone's lives, like especially nowadays, everyone's lives doesn't necessarily allow for them to go spend a bunch of time at a school, like in person. Like, for example, I'll use Pennsylvania Gunsmith School as an example. Great program there. Not everybody can go across the country to sit in Pennsylvania Gunsmith School for the amount of time. And then, you know, depending on what they want to do, where they want to work. And the online degree is a great alternative to that. However, you have to again, we're going back to realistic expectations. It's an online degree, guys. You got to know what you're getting into. If you're serious about this and you have the time, go to an in-person school. If you can't because of family, life, you know, whatever, we get it. There's online degrees and they're good. The online programs are good, okay? Yeah, so, I mean, that's all there is to it. Is SDI a scam? No. No. Stop it. Stop it. And I'm saying stop it because, like, listen to the people with experience. Listen to the people you trust, okay? I've hopefully, you know, I've been doing this a minute. You know, hopefully I haven't steered you all wrong before. You know, stake your castle nuts, you know, whatever. I don't know. referring back to the controversial stuff. Now I'm just rambling, guys. Let's shut it off here. Let's shut it down. All right, guys. So, I mean, that's it. Is SDI a scam? No, absolutely not. Hands-on trade schools are way better. They're more beneficial in person, but they're still good online. You can still learn everything you need to know as far as the basics are concerned with an online program. Just participate, be active. The education, it's you, man. Knowledge is everything. You should always be thirsting for knowledge. Go get more, pay attention, learn from who you can learn from. All right. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, I'm here for you guys. I'd love to help you out. That's why I'm doing this whole thing on my free time, right? So with all that being said, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.